Steelers are trash, but that don't stop Omar from cooking. Big Deep News. So the Steelers just made a trade, and it wasn't for Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed. Wasn't a receiver. It's actually for a safety, and it kind of makes sense. Even though we just signed a safety today, we put him on practice squad. I'm sorry, I can't even remember the dude's name right now. But we're not expecting him to have any serious impact or be called up to the 53-man roster anytime soon. And with Deshaun Elliott being out, even though he's not out for the whole season, I could see why the Steelers would maybe want an upgrade over what we have in the safety room to replace Deshaun Elliott for the time being. So Steelers went out and traded for Patriots safety / corner. He's a hybrid secondary player, Kyle Dugger. Steelers gave up a 6th-round pick in exchange for Dugger and a 7th-round pick, so a late-round pick swap plus player in this deal. Dugger is a solid player from everything I know. The reason he was available, it's kind of like a similar situation with Jabril Peppers. With Vrabel coming in there, the new regime didn't have a fit for Peppers in the defense, at least in the role that he had before Vrabel got there, and that was being like the starting safety with Belichick and Mayo. And you look at all the games that Dugger started and the production that he had, like he's solid. From the outside looking in, he's solid. I just wonder, though, at his stage of his career, 29 years old, can you argue his best days are behind him? And it's almost like a similar iteration of what we already have with Juan Thornhill, Chuck Clark, and Jabril Peppers. It's just like Kyle Dugger may be a better version of those guys, but it's still going to be all within the same vein. And this is just a Band-Aid on a bullet hole wound for this defense, and it's not really going to affect anything. Now, I appreciate the swing. Curious because, with Vrabel moving off of a guy like Peppers that we got earlier, and then also Dugger right now, I'm wondering to myself, it's like, does Vrabel know something we don't? Maybe we should be following his lead and not trying to bring on these guys that he's letting go that he doesn't feel like it's a scheme fit anymore, and try to find a spot for them on our team and try to make it work when maybe, again, their best days are behind them. Who knows, man? Who knows? Again, appreciate the swing. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this contract, how much the Patriots take on for future seasons, because he's got a decent cap hit for next year. And the dead cap is not like too bad, but listen, if we cut him, we'd be taking on like $9 million, I think, or something in dead cap. But the cap hit's 17, so there would be savings, but you're still taking on dead cap. So from that standpoint, it's like, do we actually view this as a long-term thing with Dugger? Because if we're just thinking it's a one and done potentially, we got to take on some dead cap next year if we're going to cut him. So that's another weird part about this. But for, I guess, this season, yeah, why not take a chance on it? Maybe, too, because of Dugger's versatility, we view him as a guy that we could play in the slot, even with Deshaun Elliott coming back, and that means less snaps for Darius Slay. And we have Jalen Ramsey and JPJ as our main outside guys. Like, that could be a combination we envision with Dugger. I would assume, like, if you're making the trade and then potentially have to deal with the cap ramifications next year, I would assume they do view Dugger having a role even with Elliott coming back and potentially even into the future. So that's kind of my 2 cents on this right now. Maybe if this trade happened a month ago, more excited, but just state of the Steelers right now, still a little lethargic, have a little apathy, numb to something like this. It's like, all right, cool. All right. In terms of him playing this week, why not? Yeah, throw him out there. Why not? Why not? Can't be worse than what we've been putting on display these last couple weeks. So let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. This is just, my initial reaction, just freestyling kind of on what I think of the trade. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay chilling. Peace.